So in this video, we'll be discussing previous year question paper of 2024 ICAR PG Food Science and Technology subject. So let us begin. Question number 41. Which of the following is not the function of packaging? So the function of packaging, mainly it is protection, means it will protect from contamination, from oxygen, from microbes. Next, containment. Containment means to hold the product, and it will allow easy handling, then storage, transportation, communication. Now this communication, it provides information like a label, nutrition, expiry dates or brandings, prevention of browning. So this is not correct, since browning is controlled by additives like ascorbic acids. And the processing methods can be like blanching or refrigerations. So packaging may indirectly help, but this is not the primary function of it. So correct option will be D. Question number 42. Which material is considered best for the manufacture of the drawn and ironed D&I type of cans? So it is aluminium. So basically these are used for soft drinks. Now aluminium, it is highly ductile, means it can be easily drawn, it can be easily ironed with thin walls. It is lightweight, corrosion resistant, now if it's high lightweight means transportation cost will get reduced, corrosion resistance means it is suitable for beverages, even it is having good thermal conductivity. And the most important one is recyclable. So D and I type of cans are the aluminium beverage cans. Question number 43. How much is the typical film thickness of the enamel which is applied on most containers which is used for food packaging? So enamel coating in food containers, basically it is done to prevent the metal food interaction. And even to avoid corrosion. And maintain food quality and safety. So typically the thickness, it ranges from 4 to 12 micrometer. So this is the standard internal coating thickness, and this is thin enough to maintain the flexibility and even avoid the cracking during the processing, and it is even thick to provide the effectiveness of the protection. So 1 to 3 is too thin, 15 to 20 thicker, and 25 to 50 it's excessive thick. So correct option is option number B. Question number 44. The cover is made from which material in cover and plinth, that is CAP type of storage structure which is used for storage of food grains? So this CAP, it is a temporary storage method where the grains are just stacked on a raised plinth, that is platform, and then covered with waterproof sheets. So these are basically polyethylene. So waterproof means it will just protect from the rain, and it is flexible, durable, even it is having lightweight, and it is easy to use, and it is cost effective. Whereas polystyrene, so it is brittle. Polypropylene, so it is used in bags. And aluminium, so it's expensive compared to this polyethylene. So correct option should be option number C. Even this CAP storage, that is polyethylene sheets, they are the like tarpaulin like covers. Question number 45. The protein efficiency ratio of the commonest methods which is used to evaluate the protein quality involves the measurement of following. So we know the definition of protein efficiency ratio, that is weight gain by the protein intake. So first option, that is protein absorbed. So it is related to the digestibility. Option B, weight gain per unit weight of the protein consumed. This is correct option. And option C, weight gain per unit weight of protein assimilated. So it is, we can say biological value. Not exactly, but. Option D, that is weight gain per unit weight of the essential amino acids consumed. So it is related to amino acid scorings. So correct option is option number B. Question number 46. You have to consider the following sentences and related to the protein quality. First one, the proportion of absorbed nitrogen that is retained in the body for maintained and for growth is a measure of biological value of the protein. So this is true. Since we know biological value is equal to the proportion of the absorbed nitrogen which is retained for growth and maintenance. So this is the correct definition for biological value. Next one, that is net protein retention, that is NPR, represents the biological value of protein correct for digestibility. No, this is not correct. This is about net protein retention, which is related to the protein efficiency ratio with correction of some for the maintenance. So this is not correct. Option C, digestibility is the measure of proportion of consumed food nitrogen that is absorbed. So this is correct definition. Since we know digestibility, it is equal to the proportion of consumed nitrogen that has been absorbed. Option D, net protein utilization, it represents the biological value of the protein corrected for digestibility. Yes, this is the correct statement for net protein utilization. So correct option will be A, C, D. Option number 1 should be our correct option over here. So biological value is for the retention of absorbed proteins. Digestibility is for absorption of consumed proteins. NPU, that is net protein utilization, is for overall utilization, that is biological value and the digestibility. And net protein retention is for the different concepts, but not, it is not based on the biological value. Question number 47. How much should be the length and width ratio of the rectangle lagoons be, which is used for effluent treatment? So for the efficient effluent, that is wastewater treatment, lagoons are designed actually to promote the flow conditions, the plug flow conditions, and to reduce the short circuiting, to increase the retention time. So ideal length for the length and width ratio, it should be 3:1 or more. So this will ensure better flow distribution, even it will provide the treatment efficiencies, and it will reduce the dead zones. So this will be our correct option. Question number 48. Which are the most common nuclei which are analyzed by the nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy? So NMR spectroscopy, the most commonly analyzed nuclei in NMR are proton, that is hydrogen NMR, and carbon NMR. So why these are common? Because hydrogen, it is very abundant in organic compounds, and even it is highly sensitive, means it will give the strong signals. And carbon, it's the backbone of organic molecules as we know, and it provides the structural information. Whereas oxygen, so this oxygen, it's not NMR active. So no nuclear spin is there, and in nitrogen, it's less commonly used due to its broad signals. So the correct option will be hydrogen and carbon. Question number 49. What is the nature of stationary phase and mobile phase in reverse phase osmosis? So in reverse phase, HPLC, the stationary phase, it is non-polar. Non-polar means it is hydrophobic. And the mobile phase, it is polar, means it is hydrophilic. Hydrophobic, typically C18, that bonded silica. And hydrophilic, example water is there, methanol, acetonitrile mixtures, these are used. Now in reverse phase osmosis, basically it is opposite to that of normal phase chromatography. So stationary phase is polar and mobile phase becomes non-polar. So over here our correct option will be option number C, that is non-polar stationary phase and polar mobile phase. Question number 50. Which anti-nutritional factor binds to the intestinal mucosa cells and interfere with the absorption of the amino acids? So first one, that is trypsin inhibitors. So trypsin inhibitors, we know that inhibits the protein digestion enzymes, not the mucosal binding. Saponins, it affects the membrane permeability. So it's not specifically the amino acid absorption via mucosal binding. Tannins, it's bind the protein and it reduces its digestibility, not directly related with this intestinal cells. Whereas lectins, these are the proteins that can bind specifically to the carbohydrate residues. On the surface of the intestinal mucosal cells. Now this binding, they can damage or it can alter the intestinal lining. Also it can interfere with the nutritional transport systems. Even it can reduce the absorption of the amino acids. So correct option will be option number D, that lectins, it latch onto the lining and it blocks the absorptions. Question number 51. Which precursor of the sulfur compounds is responsible for the flavor of onions? So it is S1-propenyl L-cysteine sulfoxide. So these When the onion is cut, the enzyme that is alliinase, it converts this precursor and it produces sulfur compounds, including the thiopropanol as oxides, which will cause tears, and other more compounds are there. And this 2-propanyl L-cysteine sulfoxide, it is present in garlic. Diallyl thiosulfonate, this is also present in garlic, but the enzyme which is responsible is allicin, and in this allicin. Thiopropanol as oxide, so it's a product that is which is the reason why tear it comes out. So it's not a precursor. So over here, our correct option is option number A. Next, question number 52. According to FSSAI regulation 2011, how much is the maximum permissible limit of benzoyl peroxide in refined wheat flour, that is maida, used for bakery purpose? So according to FSSAI, that is Food Safety and Standard Authority of India 2011 regulation, the benzoyl peroxide, it is permitted as a flour bleaching agent, and the maximum limit in this refined wheat flour for bakery is 40 ppm. So this benzoyl peroxide, it improves the whiteness of the flour, and even it enhances the appearance of the bakery product. It decomposes into the benzoic acid, leaving only little or minimal residues. So correct option is 40 ppm. Question number 53. We have to match the food additives from column 1 with its specific functions in column 2. So first one, that is carboxymethyl cellulose. So it is a stabilizing and a thickening agent, and it is used in sauces, ice creams, in beverages, just to improve the texture. So A3. Calcium peroxide. So it is a dough improver. It acts as an oxidizing agent. It improves the dough strength. Calcium silicate. It is for firming agent. It helps maintain the structure. Though it is commonly an anti-caking, but over here it best suits with forming agent. And sodium aluminium sulfate, so this is a good anti-caking agent which prevents the clumping in the powdered foods basically. So this carboxymethyl cellulose, it is a creamy thickening. It is for thickening. Peroxide is for proofing for dough. Silicates is for structure, that is for forming as in forming agent, and aluminium sulfate is for anti-caking agent. Question number 54. Why thermoplastic packaging material can be readily molded or extruded in a desired new shape? First option, because thermoplastics, they contain crosslinks in their structure. So it is actually a characteristic of a thermosetting plastic. Means it is rigid, it cannot be molded. Because thermoplastics do not contain crosslinks in their structure, yes, this is true. because it is having a linear or a branched polymer chain, so no cross-linking between the chains. And chains can slide past each other when they are heated, so materials can become soft, they can melt, they can be reshaped repeatedly, molded, or can be extruded. Next one, because thermoplastic materials cannot melt on heating, so this is also incorrect. Because thermoplastic materials blisters char on heating, this is also incorrect. It is a typical of thermosets, we can say. So correct option is B. Question number 55. We have to arrange the following food processing industries in descending order according to the typical BOD value of the waste which has been generated. So first, meat processing industry. So it is having the highest BOD because it contains blood, proteins, fat. It is extremely, we can say, highly organic. Load is there, and it requires large oxygen for decomposition. Then is the dairy and milk product processing industry because it contains lactose, fats, proteins, but they are high but can be less when compared with the meat waste. Last or the lowest one is the vegetable oil industry. So they have lowest BOD as compared to other, that is meat and dairy industries. So correct option will be B, A, and then C. Question number 56. Dash grows as pellicle on beers and wines. So it is Piscia membranificans. So it's a film forming yeast. It grows on the surface of alcoholic beverages like beers and wines. And it forms a pellicle, that is a thin film layer on the surface because of the oxygen availability at the surface, because of this aerobic metabolism. So correct option is A. Question number 57. Products from oxidative deamination of the microbial decomposition of amino acids are, so oxidative deamination of amino acids, that is common in the microbial decomposition process. Basically, this involves the removal of amino group, that is NH2 group, and conversion of this amino into keto acids, that is alpha keto acid, and ammonia, that is NH3. So generally what happens, the amino acid with oxygen gives keto acid and ammonia. Whereas fatty acid and carbon dioxide, these are not related with ammonia acid deamination. Now primary alcohol, ammonia and carbon dioxide, this is also incorrect. Fatty acid, ammonia, carbon acid, not a product. So correct option will be D. Question number 58. Find the correct option from following. First option, that is bacteria that forms capsules are more difficult to kill. Yes, this is true because capsules, they will protect the bacteria from desiccations, from disinfectants, from host defenses. Uh, Next one, that is cell high in lipid content are harder to kill. This is also true. So high lipid contents means, for example, mycobacterium. They are more resistant to heat, to chemicals, because lipids, they are rich cell walls and it can act as a barrier. Bacteria that form capsules are more easy to kill. This is incorrect and just opposite of A. D. Cocci usually are more resistant than rods. This is true because cocci, they will show higher resistance than the vegetative rods. Uh, so over here our correct option is A, B and D. Option number 1 is our correct option. Question number 59. Cultures are used as test organisms in cobalt or gamma radiation sterilization. So in gamma, that is cobalt 60 radiation sterilization, highly the radiation resistant microorganisms are used as the biological indicators. And the most commonly used organism is Bacillus pumilus. Basically, it forms resistant spores and it even shows high resistance to ionizing radiation. So correct option is option number A. Whereas Staphylococcus aureus, it is not a highly radiant resistant. Salmonella, it is too sensitive to radiation. And Enterobacter, it is not used as a radiation indicator. Correct option should be option number A. Question number 60. Enamel coating in cans containing zinc oxide cannot be used to store. So enamel coating containing zinc oxide, they are not suitable for acidic foods. Example, berries. They are acidic. And even they are rich in organic acids like citric, malic. So these acids, they will react with zinc oxide and they can lead to metal dissolution or sometimes off flavor or sometimes toxicity. Whereas corn, we know it is low acidity, beets having mild acidity, and meat is nearly neutral pH. So correct option should be option number C, that is berries. So in the next video, we'll be discussing more previous year questions of 2024. Till then, thank you and enjoy learning.